What do you feel about that hitting the wall phrase?
I think it's an accurate depiction of a natural phenomenon. I think that women do reach a certain point in their life where their value, when I say value, I mean value in the eyes of men specifically, does decrease when they reach a certain age. In terms of fertility, obviously you're older, you're not as attractive, but also like you've had more life experience, and I think the majority of men want a woman that hasn't had a lot of life experience because they want to build that life with you.
Did you know that by 2030, an increasing number of women are expected to remain single? Recent predictions suggest that 45% of American women will be unmarried by then, and this trend seems inevitable. Considering the future landscape, there will likely be a significant number of women living independently, and while they may still be enjoying certain aspects of life, the traditional narrative of marriage and monogamous relationships appears to be fading. The notion of older women divorcing between the ages of 50 and 60, with the expectation of effortlessly finding a new partner, may be wishful thinking. In reality, the idea of an older woman divorcing and swiftly finding a new devoted partner might be more delusion than reality. Many men may not be eager to commit to an elderly woman who already has one foot in the grave.
I just don't know what I'm doing, and I know I'm only 28, but 28 just feels like I should have my shit together, and I don't have my shit together. I don't have anywhere to live. I literally have been scammed by Airbnbs.
What?
I just don't feel like I'm cut out. Fuck. Oh my god, I'm ugly crying. I'm sorry. I just don't feel like I'm cut out for this life, and it really fucking sucks. I felt this way for a long time. When I lived back home, I was so depressed. I was in a relationship that was so toxic, and I just wanted to feel like someone loved me. Oh my god, we're going into it. Okay. Alright. I just wanted someone to feel like they loved me and wanted to be with me for me, and that was never the case. And I ran away to Vegas. Well, not ran away, but like ran away to Vegas.
Just like a woman.
I had no family or friends in Vegas. Oh my god, I'm crying again. I had no friends or family in Vegas, and was just by myself. Literally thought my life was over. I didn't think I would be alive.
What?
But then I got my dog during quarantine, and I love him more than anything in this world, and I have to be here for him. When I left Vegas, I thought, okay, great, here's a new start. I left Vegas, I went back home. I don't really have anybody else, and I really do only have myself, but
The dynamics of relationships seem to be shifting, and the future may witness more single older women living with pets rather than in conventional marriages. Do you observe that most older women in your family and the people around you are still married or have had stable relationships? The reality is that the majority of them likely didn't. It's worth noting that many of you will live long enough to witness your embittered ex-wives, vengeful ex-partners, or those who wronged you face the consequences of their actions. Single young men who struggle to find suitable partners within their generation might inadvertently contribute to the growing population of older single women. As mentioned earlier, women have an innate ability to adapt and survive, and these young men, who were once labeled incel virgins, may play a role in supporting them. Women, by nature, possess a remarkable ability to adapt to their circumstances and environment, a trait that traces back to the earliest days of human existence. This adaptive behavior began when the first cave woman recognized the need for a partner to enhance her chances of survival. She adapted by relying on a caveman for protection and sustenance, establishing an exchange system based on the valuable resources each brought to the partnership. In ancient times, other cave women, being natural followers, observed the first woman's strategy of using her resources to persuade a man to provide and protect. As they say, the rest is history. Today, a similar pattern emerges, with older single women finding ways to subsist on the efforts and hard work of men. Women are adept at survival, a skill demonstrated throughout human history. They navigated existence without engaging in many conflicts or undertaking most laborious tasks crucial for society's creation. Despite the challenges men faced, women not only survived but eventually outnumbered men in the world. While women can't exist without men for long, as history shows, they continue to leverage men's sacrifices, resources, and protection for their survival. The reality remains that women use men as a means of survival, exploiting vulnerabilities as their greatest strength. Women will persist in benefiting from men's sacrifices, resources, and protection until men overcome their instincts, control their impulses, safeguard their wallets, and entrust their affairs to the government. That very explanation illuminates how women have not only survived, but thrived to the point of outnumbering men, a fact reflected in the women and children first adage. Am I suggesting this is unacceptable? Not necessarily. However, the landscape has shifted, and we now inhabit a society where equality prevails. Men are no longer obliged to defend women. The government assumes that role. Similarly, we no longer need to provide long-term resources, as women can fend for themselves. I consistently recommend renting over buying for a hassle-free experience. The purpose of all this is to highlight that women will adapt to the evolving situation, especially considering economic challenges and the increasing number of men choosing to go their own way. It's a misunderstanding to think that women will inevitably face solitary lives without assistance. Bear in mind that the ranks of simps, hope strategists, and lonely single men seeking partners far exceed those choosing alternative paths. To truly shift the dynamics, a substantial number of men would need to embrace a red pill perspective and decide to either go monk mode or adopt the free agent lifestyle. However, that's an unlikely scenario, to be brutally honest, at least in this lifetime. So don't hold your breath. Men are essentially held hostage by women, and I assure you, positive change for men is an elusive prospect. Consider this. In the event of a war, men would be expected to endure the shots and stabbings before women ever picked up a gun to defend themselves. This underscores my argument that women will consistently outlive men. Even if some women end up living alone, are you genuinely certain this will persist until their passing? Contemplate whether they will indeed remain single. While it may seem probable, how confident are you that they won't grapple with loneliness in the future? A substantial and growing segment of men and young men are single and lonely because their counterparts show no interest. Based on current research, I regret to deliver the news that many of these older single women will not die alone. Instead, they will adapt and survive, utilizing their feminine wiles to prey on lonely young men and unmarried men who struggle to attract women in their age group. This highlights the profound desire for companionship or relief among males, and unfortunately, many are willing to settle for anything less than genuine connection, even sacrificing hard-fought accomplishments for a fleeting sense of intimacy. Thus, even if we wish for women to learn their lesson, the harsh reality is that too many men are willing to forsake everything they've strived for to satisfy their need for intimacy. I'll emphasize this point. If you believe that the majority of men, even those aware of the red pill, will wake up and choose to end relationships, you're mistaken. Even those who initially leave relationships are likely to return, especially if they lose sight of the RP message. For those few committed to staying unmarried and passing away alone, hold your ground. Understand that re-entering the traditional relationship structure means giving up your independence and tranquility. If you're willing to accept that, proceed with your choices. Young men possess ample free time, energy, and future earning potential, a valuable asset for mature women. Instead of an older man, these women can have someone to care for them and their health for an extended period. In return, they get a young, energetic companion capable of supporting them for decades without depleting a retirement account. What more could these ladies desire?
Some fun, real fun, not like 37-year-old woman on a blind date fun.
There's been a lot of conversations about why single women who are childless are the happiest women on the planet, and I'll give you a few reasons why. I'm single, childless, 39, and I live in Brooklyn. I am not responsible for the emotional labor of a man-child. I don't have to clean up after someone else because they'll get to it later. I'm not showing up for somebody who's barely making an effort and then throwing a tantrum when I ask for the bare minimum. I make my own money, and I get whatever I need and want for myself whenever I want to. I have an amazing apartment. I'm an aunt to 5 amazing children, which is arguably better than actually having them, because I get to give them back. And I refuse to ever believe when women would tell me I was too picky. Even though their husbands have like gambling and porn addictions. So ultimately, if a great guy comes around who's willing to be an equal partner, awesome. I'm totally down for that. Otherwise, I'm good.
In the future, older women will pursue younger men, and many of these younger guys may save these elderly single ladies from dying alone. Unfortunately, these older women won't face the prospect of passing away alone. While it's an uncomfortable thought, if young men, considering the percentage of virgins, incels, and those genuinely seeking relationships, become desperate enough, the tide may turn in their favor. This could result in an influx of polyamorous partnerships with wealthy older men, while average men, struggling to find intimacy, turn to younger women to balance the equation. On one hand, this signifies that many older women who insist on deserving the best man may indeed pass away alone, no questions asked. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be the first to know when my new video drops. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.